Namaste my wolves, and welcome to another DragonVale video, and today we will be going over the dragon donation and see how I capitalize on event currency using this tool. We will be going over it on my main account, which is for medium to high level players, and also be going over some of my test accounts, which is geared towards low to medium level players. Let's get into it. First, I would like to tell you that dragon donation is not really something that you need to do or even complete, but it is a great way to earn extra event currency. Even without using this tool, if you complete almost everything else per day from this event, you will end up with at least 38,000 to 44,000. And that's only low guessing the amount of times 2 days that we will have. I have a video on how to earn all your event currency during this event, which I will link in the description below. That 38 to 44,000 event currency is at least enough to purchase 3 to 5 new dragons from the event shop, and that doesn't include the new dragons that you'll be breeding. So my first tip to you low-level players is that I actually didn't really touch dragon donation in the beginning, and I focused on just breeding and getting as much event currency as I could. If you're unsure if you're ready or not to do dragon donation, join us on a Discord server, which I will link in the description below, and you can ask me any questions or tips, and I will answer them to the best of my ability to see you succeed. The next tip that I would say before we get into this is that you should get one of every Rift basic dragon at level 4. This will tremendously increase your chances at getting these dragons and filling up these spots. You will also want to be able to afford at least 8 to 10 breeding attempts, but if you can only afford 5 to 8, that's still okay. And besides that, I have no other tips, so let's get into my main account, and then we'll get into some test accounts and you'll see what low-level players can do as well. Chapters will be below, but each section will have helpful tips. Enough chit chat, let's get into it. Medium to high level players, welcome, and first things first, let's analyze and plan because we only have 2 days to complete these dragon donations. Less for this one because we only have 8.5 hours left. When we're analyzing, we want to look at 4 things. Number 1, we want to look at the elements that we have. Number 2, we want to see if there are any matches with those elements. Number 3, because of any matches, we want to see which ones will be easier to attain. And number 4, we want to also see what type of dragons there are. Basic, Rift basic, regular dragons, which is combinations of any two, and then epic dragons. Let's dive into this one. Upon analyzing, we have Phantom, which is cold and light, Blizzard, which is cold and air, Hail, which is cold and lightning, Mine, which is cold and metal, Quake, which is earth and lightning, and then we have air, fire, and dark as basic any dragons that we can put in there. Based off of this, we have no basic or Rift basic dragons, and that is normally what I attack first. And we see that fire and dark don't match any of the other squares, so we will leave that for last, but I had a watch dragon, so I just decided to donate it for fun beforehand. And now let's take a look at our dragons. We see that none of them match, so first we want to try to capitalize on completing lines as quickly as possible. Let's get into the Rift and start knocking out some of these donations. In this case, we have 2 options that we could do. We could go for Phantom or Blizzard, as both of those will finish a line. So let's just start off with Phantom. Light, cold. Always use the basic dragons. And let's see if we get it. Got it on the first try. Let's donate that. Next, Blizzard, cold, air. Let's do the same. Cold, air. We didn't get it, so let's sell it. Another one. And you will see that this is why I tell you to try to have as many Rift attempts that you can. I can go all the way up to 10,000 because that is what I can afford. So we will definitely be able to complete this, but for the low-level players, you will only be able to do a certain amount of attempts, which will not get you that many completions sometimes. And it looks like it really wants to give us the snow today. There we go, and we got the Blizzard. Took us a few tries, but we not only completed this line, but we also completed the bottom one as well. So in this case, Blizzard would have actually been the best choice to start off with, but we still ended up getting it today because we have that many attempts, so it didn't matter. Next up now, we could go for Mine or Hail, so let's just continue on with, let's do Mine this time. So metal and cold. Nice, and we got this one on the first try. There's another line completed. Let's do Hail next, which is cold and lightning. There we go. And last but not least, let's go for Quake, which is Earth and Lightning. First try, come on. There we go. Completion. And we've gotten all the magic. Now let's see what we get for the next round. We may not be able to complete it, but we'll at least get halfway. Okay, so let's analyze this. Nightshade is dark and plant, so we'll at least cover the plant side. Blazing is fire and air. Hail is cold and lightning. So we need metal and water still. That will be at the end. So for this one, I actually want to start off with blazing, and then we'll go to Nightshade so that we can complete that line on the left. So let's do blazing, fire and air. We got smoke. Let's see if we can get it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Ooh, and there's our first 10,000. I won't go past that. I will not go past that. So, we ended up getting it. Now, what we will do in the future, since we finished this, we could end up outside the park breeding metal and water just to at least get that done. And then tomorrow we'll come back in the rift and we can quickly do hail and nightshade to complete the rest of the board. That is one opportunity that you can do. I will leave another opportunity for the end of the video. Now let's get into some of my test accounts and see how we can capitalize for low to medium level players. First, for White Wolf Fidea 2, we actually have a fairly easy board that has a lot of matching. So we have Cactus, which is plant and lightning, taking up those 2 squares. We have Magnetic, which is lightning and metal, taking up that lightning as well. We have Glacier, which is earth and cold, taking up that earth spot. And then we have Shimmer, which is light and water, taking up that light spot. So by completing these 4 dragons, we'll actually complete the other squares at the same time. So let's get right into it. We have a few attempts. Let's see what we can do. First off, plant and lightning for that cactus. And of course, when we want the cactus, it never pops up. There's our cactus. Next up, let's go ahead. We can do either Glacier or Magnetic. If we do Magnetic, we'll finish 1 line. But if we do Glacier, we will finish 2 lines because we'll actually get the row in the middle. So let's do that. Earth and cold. Got mountain. Let's see if we can get it on this one. We will have 2 more tries to do, unfortunately. So we won't beat it today, but we did get the glacier, giving us those 2 lines. And we still have a little bit less than 2 days, so we have time to finish this. Next up, we have magnetic and shimmer. If we get shimmer, we'll get 1, 2 rows. If we get magnetic, we'll only get the 1. I know we'll still get the 2 because it's diagonal. So we could do both. So let's just go for shimmer. Light, water. First try. And we got those 2. So now we have 2 options. We could go outside the park and try to breed the magnetic out there. But then we will still have to wait to hatch it in the nursery. So we can just save this for tomorrow and finish off with our first Rift breeding attempt. I have 2 other accounts ready with some different dragon donation setups. So let's dive into those as well. White Wolf Day 3, we have Quake, which is Earth and Lightning, Mountain, which is Earth and Cold, Frostflower, which is Plant and Cold, and Sonic, which is Lightning and Air. And then we also have Dark and Water that don't match any of these dragons, so we will also need to focus on that at the end. Let's see how much we can get done with these attempts. So with this one, I actually know that we can't get the Water and Dark first, so I don't want to focus on Quake or Sonic since those will complete rows. So let's focus on Mountain and Frostflower so that we can cover at least that column on the left. So first we'll do Mountain, which is Cold and Earth. Permafrost is a rift, so I will put this in here. Glacier, close close. We'll sell this one because it's not a rift. And there's our mountain. All right, let's donate that one. We got 2 squares. Up next, we will do frost flower. So that's plant and cold. Evergreen, that is a rift though, so we'll keep that out here. Lichen, not on this account. But since I have enough rift dragons, I will leave that to sell. See how many attempts we have on this account. We did have a little bit more ether, so that's a little bit more to spend and play with. Come on, please give us the frost flower. There it is. Oh no! And that will be the end of our attempts for today. Some days you'll have good days, some days you'll have bad days. That's why it's good to have a lot of ether to play around with when you're doing dragon donation. Again, for this one, we could put dark and water, breed them outside the rift, and try to get those. That way we have more attempts to focus on Quake, Sonic, and Frost Flower tomorrow. And honestly, I was going to show you one more of my test accounts, but the rest of my test accounts don't really have the rift that quite well unlocked yet. So I will show you why the dragon donation is not really needed for low to medium level players and why you should more so focus on just breeding overall. Here with a day of test 1, we don't have all the basic rift dragons, and on top of that, this is going to be very hard. We have lichen, cold and plant, snow, cold and air, coral, fire and water with a very low success rate because you usually get air with a high % chance when you're breeding fire and cold, quake, earth and lightning, cave, dark and earth. We have no matching. This one's going to be very tough, and it's going to be very hard to complete this with 3 to 5 attempts in the 2 days. Same with the day of test 2. Rune will be dark and cold, dandelion will be plant and air, and cave will be dark and earth. Plus on top of that, we have metal. We will need a lot of gems to try to complete this in 1 day, especially with only 704 ether. However, a day of test 3 seemed a little bit more promising besides Flash and Watch. You could actually acquire all the other ones outside the rift. You could just purchase the Dark Dragon, the Air Dragon, the Metal Dragon, and the Light Dragon, or start breeding some of the 2 together, Light and Metal, and then you purchase the Dark and Air, because Air is one of the quicker ones to get. You have many options that could allow you to maybe get some more extra magic, but at the end of the day, if you don't have gold to spend or time to spend breeding, focus on the dragons from this event that you're trying to unlock. And again, I do want to touch back and say that dragon donation is not fully necessary. It is just a way to get extra event currency. But you can already get a lot of event currency from the video that I posted about the Summerthings magical event. And also we have the Google Doc in our Discord server, which will tell you how to breed every single dragon from this event. So if you can't do the dragon donation, just focus on breeding for this time. And then the next time this event comes around and you have more rift dragons and more rift opportunities, that's when you can tackle the dragon donation. And here's my final special tip before we end this guide. I've been playing this game for about 4 years now, and here's my special tip that I've done for majority of the time playing. In the co-op cave, we get twins randomly from time to time from our friends, or from ourselves breeding with our friends. I personally, if I already have the dragon in the park, I don't sell it, I don't hatch it. I've kept every single one of the dragons that I've gotten from friends right here. I have a full plethora of dragons that I can choose from, and sometimes if I want to save some time after I'm done with my attempts, I will actually find some of these dragons in here. So you know what? Let's go ahead and try to do that right now. Nightshade or Hail? Let's look. Nightshade or Hail? I believe I do have Hail at least. Hail is definitely a common one. Nightshade, not so much. But Hail, let's see. We have Hail, so let's finish that. So in 6 hours, we'll be able to get that. And let's see if we have Nightshade now. So dark and plan. So let's just look for green swirls with a black egg, I believe. Or is it green egg with a black squirrel? I definitely spent about 3 minutes looking for that Nightshade Dragon in my backpack, but we did not have it. So that is it for today. And there we have it, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to my in-depth guide on how to capitalize on the dragon donation during the Summerthings magical event. I hope this video helps, and I wish you good luck in getting as much extra event currency as you can. If you haven't done so already, join us on Discord, which I will link in the description below, where we share breeding hints, have tons of Google Docs with tons of information, share our friend ideas to breed with as many dragons as possible, and just overall share that positivity and good vibes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us on our YouTube lives, where we stream meditation gaming every day of the week. And as always, it has been a pleasure. I will see you in the next video. Namaste.